Hello everybody, welcome back and thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to do a tutorial on a refillable hardback journal. So yes, it's going to look something like this. This one is a work in progress. You can see here what I have finished so far with the cover. It's going to be made out of chipboard. We have a fabric covered spine. You can see the eyelets here, and this is eventually going to have some elastic so you can easily put in and remove your inserts. So now, in order to make this, you are going to need some chipboard. The chipboard that I'm using is about the width of a penny. I think it's a medium weight chipboard. I don't know what it is exactly. It's sturdy, but it's also light enough that I can cut it with my paper cutter. I'm going to decorate the cover with this Maggie Holmes paper. And then for the fabric for the spine, I have this pretty fabric. I think it's going to go really well with the Maggie Holmes paper. I have my Fabrifuse glue, and this is my new glue of choice. I have some eyelets, and I like the small ones. And I have my crocodile, and I have my baby companion. He's providing the soundtrack. And the coffee is providing the caffeine. So we're gonna make a B6 sized cover. So the first thing you're gonna do, and I already started cutting this because I already started filming this, but we're gonna cut, so the B6 is about 7 inches tall by 5 inches wide, but I'm gonna go a little bit taller and a little bit wider. So I was cutting here, whoops, bring this down. I was cutting at 7 1/4. So, and since this is a paper cutter, you have to kind of give it a few swipes and it's still attached. So I just flip it over, line it back up at 7 1/4, and just slide it a couple more times, and then it should easily just kind of peel away. And then we're gonna go to 5 1/4. So this is gonna give us some, like, you know, just a little bit of wiggle room. If our inserts have, like, you know, some fabrics coming out, or maybe you want to put some paper tabs on there or something. So it's gonna give us some, just a little bit of overhang for whatever might be inside. I'll flip this way. So again at 5 1/4. Cut that, flip it over, and cut again, and then boom. So here's the front and back covers. And for the spine, I'm going to use the piece that I trimmed off at the very beginning, and this is 7 1/4 inches tall, so I'm just going up 7 1/4, couple slices, flip it around, give it a couple more slices, and then you have your spine. So it's gonna be like this. See? And let me clear some of this away. I don't need all I need is the spine. Spine, fabric, scissors at this point in my life. That's all I need, and some coffee. Okay, let's open this. And so pretty much what I'm gonna do is find a nice corner here, like this. Yes, kiddo, what's up? Got my spine piece, and actually we're gonna leave a little bit more, maybe about 1.5 inches here and 1.5 inches here, and just a little bit of overhang. So we can always trim what we don't need, so it's always best to go a little bit over. It's better to have too much than too little. And I am gonna do that twice. If you wanted to do, I'll put this over here and I'll just use this as a rough outline. But if you wanted to do 2 different fabrics, like I have here, you could do that. But for the sake of brevity, I am going to just do 1 fabric. Oops, put these back. I'm going to do 1 fabric for both the inside and the outside. This is some floral feed sack fabric that I got. I think I got this one on eBay. Take your spine, take your lovely glue that you haven't opened yet, so you should open that. Easy, easy. Where are we gonna put it? Put it over here. Trash. Okay, that can dry right there. So you are going to just line this around the edge, and then, oh Harvey, hang on just a second, buddy. A little bit in the middle there. Flip this over, and you're gonna put it on the back of the fabric. Just center it there, just like that. Very nice. And yes, there we go. If you're working on a surface that you don't want to get ruined, put something down because the glue is going to come through the fabric. And then I'm going to do it again. So it's going to create like this sort of sandwich here. And this time we are going to go this way with the fabric again. So you created this little like sandwich deal that has the chipboard inside there. So that's gonna just hang out there for a little while. We're gonna set this aside and let it dry. I'm just gonna put it right over here. And then while that's drying, we're gonna go ahead and we can decorate the covers. So I haven't opened this yet. Let's see, pow and pow. Just whoop. I love this paper. I love it so much. Some of you already know that. This is my 4th paper pad or 3rd. I don't know. But I have this one and I have another open one and then I have like a half of one. So, back to this. I'm going to kind of keep the spine nearby so I can match. Oh, that might be really pretty. Just floral and floral. Should we do that? Let's keep looking. But that way you can kind of go through, and that would be nice too, but I think I want a little bit more cover. And you have them both like right next to, ooh, that would be cool too. I think this is a really good fabric for this project. Some nice purple. Ooh. Yeah, I'm doing that one. We're gonna go with this. So I'm gonna set this back aside. When I cut this paper, I don't need to cover a part of it over here. So, let me see. Thinking out loud here. If my chipboard is 7 1/4, I want a little bit of overlap because I'm going to fold it over. I think I'm just going to go right to the 8. And you want it a little bit, no, it needs to be bigger than that. I think I'm going to go to maybe 8 1/4. You want some overlap on the tops and one of the sides because you're going to end up folding it over like you would fold a present. So I think actually just to be safe and make it easier, I'm going all the way to 8 1/2 and slicing that. And we'll get rid of this. We'll use that later though. And then since this is 5 1/4, we'll just start there. Because again, only one edge. The paper only needs to go to one edge. So I hope that makes sense. You'll see what I mean in just a minute. I think that should be good. So I'm gonna go to 5 1/2. And one for the back, 5 1/2. Okay, so 5 1/2, it ended up being by 8 1/2. have those. Now what I'm gonna do is, again with my fabric fuse, is this is probably about a ½ inch from the edge here. Just down and across. Let me finish this, Harvey, and then I will get you, and I could finish filming later. So you can see here the overhang on 3 sides of the cover. And next what we're gonna do is pretty much you kind of just fold this over like a present. And before I use any glue, I like to kind of train my paper where it's gonna go. So fold this over, fold a little corner here, like that. Do the same to the other side. And then this is gonna go this way. So we're just training the paper with the folds. And then we can go in with our glue. Okay, so we're gonna repeat that process with the other side. Leave the opposite side, leave a little gap, but it's gonna have to be on the opposite side. So that way, you know, your book it'll be cohesive. Okay, so my outsides are covered. And you can see that this is going to be the front and this is going to be the back. And our spine will go right in here. But first I'm going to choose another pattern from my paper pad here. And this is going to go on the inside. And I'm just going to go with this blue. And then I think what I'm gonna do for, I think I'm just gonna go to 7. We're gonna go 7 by 5. Should be good. Or, yeah, that'll be fine. 7 by 5. So I'm gonna cut 2 pieces that are 7 inches tall, 5 inches wide, and these are gonna go here and here. Mine has had plenty of time to dry. But we're gonna go back to our spine that we started earlier. And before we attach the spine to the covers, we need to put the eyelets in. So I have my crocodile, and I'm gonna get 5 of these little guys out. 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm gonna show you really quick. Here they are, my 5 eyelets. And I'm gonna set them here so they can't roll away. And then I'm gonna grab a pen on the spine where we're going to punch. And you can see here, I have 1 in the center, and then 2 here and 2 here. And I'm one of those people who doesn't measure a lot. So I find my chipboard piece inside of the fabric, and I'm gonna just eyeball where I think the center is gonna be. So I made a mark here. And then on the edges, if you are not gonna measure, you should still make sure your eyelet's gonna have plenty of room to fit before you punch your hole. So the way I'm gonna do this is just by taking 2 of them and putting them on upside down. Let's scoot this over a little bit. So that's basically where my marks are gonna go. So I'm just gonna move these. And if you wanna grab a ruler and measure to make sure that you're, getting them where you want them, then feel free. I don't do that though. So that looks pretty good to me. Maybe I'll scoot this in a little bit more. So here and here. So now I have all my marks. I'm going to use the smaller. See, here's this big one and here's this small one. So I'm gonna use the small one to punch my holes. And you might have to gather the fabric up to get it out of the way. There's only so much room right here for things to go through. But find your holes and just, let's see, I don't know if you can see that. Punch and over here, punch. So there's 2 holes there. Let's get the middle one done. And see it, punch. There it is. And over here, punch and punch. Okay, so I can already tell that my center hole is a little bit closer to the right side than the left, but it really doesn't matter. So I'm just gonna set my eyelets in now. And the thing about this also, guys, is my tutorial is just meant to be a guide. Like, you could just as easily use some repurposed like cereal boxes and maybe like start by just gluing a couple layers of cereal box together to get a sturdier base for your journal. You don't need to go buy chipboard. You really don't even need a crocodile. If you're making yourself a journal and you just wanted to poke holes, you know, like, just go for it. I'm gonna be using elastic, but if you don't have elastic, you don't need it. You could use any kind of like thread or like embroidery floss or ribbon or whatever. Like, this is meant to kind of spark ideas. Okay, so there's my spine, and I have my holes, and I have the eyelets. They're all set. What I'm gonna do now is decide which way. I'm gonna go this way for the top. And what we're gonna do now is attach the spine to the cover. So when you're placing your cover next to your spine, you wanna leave a gap, and not a very big gap, but you can see, like, we're talking like maybe a couple centimeters here. Let me see if I can get the camera to pick it up a little bit better. So here's my chipboard inside. My cover, there's gonna be a gap. You see that right there? That gap is what I'm talking about. So on either side, when you do the front, and then again when you do the back, there's gonna be a gap again. But the way I do this is by figuring out, okay, so here's the bottom of my chipboard, and keeping in mind that gap, I just sort of run a length of glue along the spine, and the top of it's right about here, so we'll go to like that. Then I'm gonna bring it out, and we're gonna go up, and just some in the middle for good measure. Then I'm gonna take my cover and just attach it like that, making sure that the top meets with the top and the bottom meets with the bottom. And don't forget to keep this gap here. It doesn't matter too much, like the materials, anything, this gap is important. You want that gap there. It's gonna help your book, you know, open and close with ease. So I got this bottom. Just gonna flip that over for now. And sorry, I have the sunlight, just 1 second. The back cover, and we're gonna do the same way. I'm just gonna peel this. I'm gonna find the top, the bottom, keeping in mind the gap of about 2 centimeters or so. I'm gonna flip this around so I can do it easier. Let me find the bottom again, there it is. So I'm just going to bring this up. And if your glue touches like your spine on the inside or whatever, it doesn't matter, and it's actually even a little bit helpful, so it just will help keep everything in place a little bit more. So don't worry about being super duper precise on this, because you won't even see it. It's on the inside. I'm just gonna say it one more time. Just make sure you have that gap. So this is gonna go right, find the top here and the bottom, and I have my gap. Just like that. Okay. Let me flip it back around. so now you can kind of see like how our book is gonna look when we're done. And okay, I'm just gonna flip this over really quick and make sure things are looking good on the inside as well. And it's really pretty. I like how this is coming together. Okay, so I'm gonna flip the top over now, and we're gonna go along the chipboard right here and back up, and then a little bit on this paper, just like that, and flip it over. And then on this side, same thing, glue on the chipboard, and a little bit on the paper, like that, flip it over. Okay, so this is still drying. I just want to show you now where we are in the cover. So you can see that I do have excess fabric, but this is easily trimmed. Here's our cover. This is a little bit jagged, so after the glue is fully set, I'm gonna go through and I'll clean that edge up a little bit. And same thing with the back. You can kind of hand fray it too if you wanted to. And that also might be better to do after the glue dries. Just get rid of this really quick. Sorry, it's gonna bother me if I don't do it right now. I'm not a very patient person. And let's see, that's better. Okay. Pretty, I like it. Okay, we're gonna let this glue set, and then I'll be back and I will show you how I'm gonna attach the elastic, and then this book is going to be ready for inserts. So yeah, I'll be back soon, guys. Thanks. Okay, so our cover is now mostly dry. It could set a little bit more, but it's dry enough that I can show you how to do the elastic. And I actually forgot just one thing. I'll be right back. Okay, so another thing that I use in these types of journals is a cute little decorative button. And it's adorable and functional, and you will see how in just a minute. So you need two different pieces of elastic, and the first one I'm going to show you is going to be for holding your book together. So let's see. It can be kind of tricky since I like these smaller eyelets. It can be a little tricky getting the elastic to go through. Let me just make sure this is going to be enough here, and that should be plenty. So about this I don't have an exact measurement for you of how much elastic to use. Like, I just kind of test to see if it'll stretch over the cover, and then I cut a little bit more. So this is gonna come out, actually, let's see, we're gonna need to feed it through. See my little buttonholes there? I'm gonna feed one side through, if it'll go through. Let me cut these again. Okay, so they're gonna go into the face of the button. Like so, there's one, and there's two. So I'm just gonna pull most of the way through. And then we're gonna go in from the outside. Okay, so basically about 20 tries and a broken needle threader later. Oh, I did it. Yay, look, I did it. Haha. Yay. Okay, we're gonna make a knot here. So that little button that we put on the outside of the spine is going to keep your elastic from slipping back through the eyelet. So if for some reason your elastic is just, coming loose inside, it stops it from going all the way through. So you have to go through the pain in the butt of threading the elastic back through the eyelet, because that took a long time and we really don't want to do that again. So for the second piece of elastic, you're going to need a little bit of a bigger piece, and you're going to basically do the length of the book top to bottom twice, plus a little bit extra to make sure you have enough. And taking one side of that, starting from the inside, you're going to thread it through the top eyelet and back through the other one. So you can see the outside of the book there. And bring it down straight to the bottom and do the same thing again, out and back in. And now you have your two loose pieces. Here they are. And I'm kind of pulling on one now just to make sure that they are kind of even. So when I tie my knot, it's going to be right here in the center. And I'm just going to kind of pull at them a little bit, make sure that they are tight, but not super duper tight. Like, they're going to hold in your inserts, but, be loose enough that you can easily slide them in and out, and it's not going to bend your spine or anything like that. So, yes, here I am now making my knot. And, yeah, there's going to be some excess elastic, which is fine. I'm just going to trim that now. So after I'm done trimming the elastic, my cover is pretty much going to be ready for inserts, and I don't have any for this one yet, but I'm going to go ahead right now and just borrow from this other book that I have. These are my signatures that I started preparing. They're not finished yet. They're not sewn together or anything like that. But you can just see how the inserts are going to just easily slide right under the elastic. And like I was saying earlier, if you don't have elastic and you're not going to go buy any, you could easily do this with ribbon or, something else, yarn, whatever you have on hand. And you just tie knots and untie them as you need to put inserts and papers in and stuff like that. So, yeah, hope you guys have fun with this, and feel free to deviate from my instruction. And, yeah, just have fun and happy creating. So I just wanted to show you my personal hardback refillable that I have. It's a standard size. I made it the same way. I made it for myself, and this has two inserts inside of it. So here's the elastic in the center of that one and the elastic in the center of the other. So you can kind of get an idea of how cute it's going to look once you have inserts inside of it. So thanks for joining me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.